Hey everybody, I'm Rick Beato. On today's Everything Music, it's What Makes This Song Great, episode 86. The band are the White Stripes and the song is Seven Nation Army. Coming up next. Seven Nation Army was the first track off the White Stripes' 2003 release entitled Elephant. It was written and produced by Jack White and engineered and mixed by Liam Watson. Supposedly, Jack wrote the song as an experiment of writing a song without a chorus, and the title Seven Nation Army is a mispronunciation that he said as a kid of Salvation Army. So I have an interesting story about meeting Jack White, but he actually wasn't in the White Stripes yet. So back in 1995 and 96, I lived in a house with a bunch of musicians. And my friend Rich that owned the house was a booking agent, and he booked a band called Goober and the Peas. Well, Jack White was the drummer. I think he was about 20 or so, and his name in the band was Doc. Well, Goober and the Peas, every time they came to Atlanta to play, would stay at our house, and they crash on the couch. And I remember Rich telling me years later when the White Stripes first came out, he goes, "You know who that singer is in the White Stripes?" I said, "No." He goes, "That's the drummer for Goober and the Peas." And I said, "No way." And then I looked at him and says, "Oh, of course it is." The song became a massive sports anthem following Italy's 2006 win in the World Cup. To which Jack White said, "I'm honored that the Italians have adopted this song as their own. Nothing is more beautiful than when people embrace a melody and allow it to enter the pantheon of folk music. As a songwriter, it is something impossible to plan, especially in modern times. I love that most people who are chanting it have no idea where it came from. That's folk music." The opening riff of the song, which is one of the most famous riffs of all time, sounds like it's played on a bass, but it's actually played on a K hollow body guitar like this, through a Digitech digital whammy pedal just like this one, with the octave down setting, and it sounds like this. Let's listen to the original. If you listen to the bass, you can actually hear the artifacts from the digital whammy pedal. It has these. You can hear that it's tuned down the octave if you really listen carefully. There's also a guitar with a little bit of what it sounds like spring reverb on it that's playing the same thing. Listen. It just gives a little bit of ambience, and it's in the left speaker. And then the drums enter here. 2, 3, 4. And next, the vocals.
I'm gonna fight 'em off. A seven nation army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off.
They're all double-tracked with a little bit of distortion on them, it sounds like. Next, let's talk about the drum groove in the verse. It's probably the simplest drum part you could possibly have, but it's the exact right part to go along with the riff. Let's check it out. That's the basic verse groove until the snare is added here. Right there. There's really nothing other than those couple elements until here. Great sound. Let me play along with the track.
Message coming from my eyes says leave it alone.
You notice the drums play right along with the guitars during this chorus section. there's a floor tom build that happens right here. Listen. Right here. Crash. Crash. And then all crashes. Then here, boom, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba. Again, it does that double kick. Right here. Boom, boom, ba, boom, ba. And then back to the build. And then break. Unbelievable. All the space in the tune. It's all about the riff.
Don't wanna hear,
Next, we have verse 2.
don't wanna hear about it. Every single one's got a story to tell.
Everyone's got a story to tell. It's essentially
Knows about it.
continues to be about people that are gossiping about Jack and Meg. Arrangementally, pretty much exactly the same as the first. Where snare comes in halfway through in the groove, and the song doesn't really change until the slide guitar comes in here after this chorus. Right here. Love it. Then he goes up high. Same melody, essentially up the octave. Once again, always staying with the riff, because that is the hook of the song. It's the riff. And then that's the sound of fuzz there. That fuzzy distortion. The fuzz pedal I'm using right here is an old Big Muff. It's got a battery in it, no power supply. And when I think of the White Stripes and Jack White, I think of fuzz guitar. Fuzz guitar to me is the sound of garage rock and 60s lead guitar solos. Or Purple Haze. Pretty much most lead guitarists in the 60s, early 70s used fuzz. That was a type of distortion that has what I call a buzzsaw sound. If I play the amp clean, it sounds like that. Now if I crank up the fuzz even more, or if I, like this, I love it. To me, it sounds like a buzzsaw. It's kind of the heaviest distortion sound that you can have. The thing that's really cool about this song is that the fuzz guitar is mixed in the background, and there's actually some cleaner guitars in there that give the guitar's definition, like in here. You can hear the beginning of that, you can hear the fuzz. That sound, listen. But right here, cleaner. You hear the feedback in there? So there's actually a couple of clean guitars that sound like in there that are giving the chords their definition, and the fuzz is in there to add that aggressiveness, just blended in, really at a perfect level. So during this break, we come back to the intro bass riff, which is actually the guitar riff down the octave. That's really the song right there. Straight groove. And then we're into the last verse.
I'm going to Wichita.
But
Far from this opera forevermore. I'm gonna walk the strong. Make the sweat drip out of every pore. And I'm bleeding and I'm
that high line right there
bleeding and I'm bleeding and
is another one of the main hooks in the song. Snare's also louder here.
all the words are gonna bleed from me, and I will think no more.
And then back to the build.
And the stains coming from my blood tell me go
And then
back home.
back to the ride on the crash. That's it. That's all for now. Please subscribe here to my Everything Music YouTube channel. If you're a first-time viewer, don't forget to ring the bell. If you're interested in the Beato book or anything from my store, go to my website at www.rickbeato.com. That's how I support the channel. Follow me on Instagram at rickbeato1. Definitely do that. If you're interested in checking out the new Beato Ear Training method, go to my beatoeartraining.com and watch the introduction video. And if you want to support the channel even more, think about becoming a member of the Beato Club. Thanks so much for watching, and stay safe.